Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our class on polynomials. So we know what polynomials are. We have seen long division and synthetic division. We have had an introduction to remainder theorem. Today, we are going to continue from there. Is it okay? So we will see what exactly remainder theorem is, what is factor theorem, how do we factorize the polynomials. That's today's lesson. In between, I'll have a small quiz, and I will also appreciate if you could share some questions from your book or you're having difficulties with. So I'll provide solutions to all your questions today. Okay. This is going to be a long session. It is a 2-hour session for us. So let's go patiently through this. I'd like you to be ready with your notebooks and calculators. Well, most of the time you don't need a calculator, but because we don't want to waste any time in today's class, we'll rather move fast. So immediately try to do the calculations and say the answer, right? Don't wait for me to tell you that any one of you can answer any of the question, right? We are not looking into correct or wrong answers. We are only looking for active participation. And it is very important that you participate, right? And from the answers you give, don't make judgments, right? It's a learning session, right? I know that you don't know, and that's why I'm teaching you. Let's be very clear about it, correct? So don't hesitate in saying an answer. It may be absurd, doesn't matter, right? Every answer is a learning experience for us. Is that okay? So now I would like you to introduce yourself one by one. Hamza.
My name is Hamza. I live in Oakville, Ontario. I'm trying to learn advanced function this year to have a head start next year when I take it. So I'm really excited.
Vishruta.
My name is Vishuta. I'm doing advanced functions in the summer of grade 10, so I can be prepared for next year.
Mohammed.
I'm Mohammed, and I'm in Oakville, Ontario. I'm going to grade 11. I'm taking this course, trying to get a head start on the concepts.
Very good. So Mohammed, I highly appreciate you're still in grade 10 and you're taking a grade 12 level course at present. And I'm sure that this will help you with grade 11 functions also. Akshit.
Hi, I'm Akshit Candyvenom. I'm currently in the summer of grade 12 and I'm planning on studying this course. So it'll make my workload easier next year.
Perfect. So grade 12 is a very critical time. You also apply to the universities. And so it is a good time to, strengthen your skills. The marks of the very first semester will be counted in the universities. And so scoring more than 90% marks in this particular subject is extremely important. Whether you get into Waterloo or not will depend on today's lesson, right? In a way, right? So let me just share with you what I've prepared and we'll go from there. So as I was saying, we'll talk about remainder theorem, factor theorem. We have also looked into the division statement. We did some examples while dividing the polynomials, and we figured out that difference of let me just do. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have seen this division statement in our last class. While we were dividing the polynomials, we know exactly how do we write a division statement, correct? And then we also worked out an example where we divided difference of cubes by a factor. And then we know that becomes the formula. X cube minus b cube is x minus b times x square plus bx plus b square. And if we have plus here, there's a typing error. If we have a plus here, in that case, this becomes plus and that becomes negative. Is that clear to you? So that is how we can use this particular formula to factor a difference of cubes. Then polynomial in general, is a function which is of the form an x to the power of n plus an minus 1 x to the power of n minus 1, where a0 is a constant. And you know that a belongs to the set of real numbers and n is what? N is whole number, correct? So whole numbers we also write as non-negative integers. Is that clear? So we say n is non-negative integer. Perfect. Now, let's look into this division statement once again. What are we really trying to say here is something like this, that we're dividing a polynomial, and I'm saying this polynomial is f of x. and the divisor is x minus b. What you get is a quotient qx, and at the end, we get a remainder rx. If that is the case, then we can say, well, f of x divided by x minus b is equal to the quotient plus remainder divided by x minus b. Is this statement clear to everyone? You could multiply by x minus b, and when you do that, you get this form, which is f of x is equals to quotient times the divisor plus the remainder. So that is the same division statement written in the multiplication form, correct? Now, to begin with, what is remainder theorem? Hamza, can you please read this statement?
When a polynomial f of x is divided by x minus b, the remainder is f of b. When the polynomial f of x is divided by ax minus b, the remainder is f of b divided by a.
Correct. So do you understand this statement?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take up an example and really try to see what does it mean, right? So here is an example for you, which is example number 1. Hamza, can you please read this example and then tell me the answer of part A? Hamza, can you please read this example?
And I forgot to mute.
Yeah.
Find remainder when 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x minus 12 is divided by x minus 1, x minus 2,
Yeah.
x minus
So
3.
we'll do part A. Hamza, you do part A. Tell me, what is the remainder when 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x minus 12 is divided by x minus 1? What do you expect as a remainder? Tell me.
Can you do it on the screen? I can just show
Yeah.
it instead.
Yeah. So you'll basically find what is the value of the function at f equals to 1. Do you see that?
Mhm.
That gives you the remainder because that is
Yeah,
our
exactly.
remainder theorem.
And just plug it. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna plug the 1 into every x and then find the values.
Yeah. Can you use calculator? Tell me the answer.
Sure. Wait.
So 2 minus 3 is minus 1. So these three terms are all negative. So it is basically 2 minus. We have 12 and 15 and 20, right?
Did you forget to add the powers? Oh, okay, never mind. It's 1. So.
1. It,
Okay,
because
yeah.
it was
Okay.
1.
2 minus 2. Okay, so 2 minus 3. Okay, that's equal to negative 1 minus 5. Okay, 80. It's equal to negative 18.
So we got this remainder as negative 18. So what I will do here is we'll check with long division. Do we get the same remainder? That's the whole idea, right?
Mhm.
We got the remainder as minus 18 in this case. So let's do the long division now and see, do we get the same remainder?
Mhm.
So we have 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x minus 12. We are going to divide by x minus 1. Tell me, what should I write first?
Okay, so so the first thing you want to do is you want to divide 2x cubed by x.
Yeah.
So on your first at the top it would be 2x squared.
Yes.
And then multiply the 2x squared by the x minus 1. So you get 2x3 and then minus 2x squared.
Yes.
Subtract those.
Then what do we do? Minus x, right? And then we again subtract, right? So minus 10x. And then we do minus 12. Oh, sorry, 10. Sorry. So minus 10x. And then this becomes plus 10. Something wrong. So
Sir, instead of 5x, it should be 1x, I think, because minus x times x minus 1, right, sir? Wouldn't it be minus x squared plus 1x?
oh, yeah. Plus x. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. So when we do this, this is 6. Right. So I do mistakes. Correct. Let me correct this. Thank you, Akshay. So yeah, plus x, correct. So minus 6x, right? And minus 12. So we get minus 6, minus 6x plus 6, right? Minus 18. So we get the same answer. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So basically, when you divide, you get the remainder, and the remainder theorem says that the remainder is actually the value of the function at that b, f of b, correct? So it verifies. Is that clear to you?
We don't need to do this, right? If we just do what we told us to do the first step, just plug the x values in. We don't really need to check it because we probably know it's right. Like the method you taught us, plugging the x minus 1, we plugged in 1 and then we found the remainder. We don't have to check, right?
We don't have to, yes. But this is our initial class, so we are just trying to correlate the two things. Another thing which I would like to show you at this particular stage is, let me just move on to the next thing.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
For the last step, it was minus 12 and plus 6. How does that make negative 18?
So when you do minus, that minus 6 becomes, that plus 6 becomes minus 6, right? So it is minus 12 minus of plus 6, correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Okay. So as you are rightly saying, we don't really have to divide to verify the answer or get the answer. We can use remainder theorem and get the answer. That's the beauty. So you see, now you've seen how advantageous the remainder theorem is. Dividing takes a lot of time. This is just a cubic equation. It could have been degree 6, 7, right? So we have saved so much of time. Now, quickly, let's move on to Vishruta. Can you tell me what will be the remainder when I divide the given equation 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x minus 12 by x minus 2?
I did the equation. I
Yeah.
plugged it in. And
Tell
I
me.
got negative 18 again.
For 2. So now we have to, in the function, we have to plug in 2, right? And then we get 2 times 2 cubed, which is 2754, correct? Let me write 54 here. 2 square is 4 times 3, 12. 10 minus 10, 12, right? What do you get? I'd like you to use calculator so that, we don't really do many mistakes here, okay? Oh, this is wrong, 54, I'm sorry. 2 cube, I was still doing 3 cube. 2 cube is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, right?
Oh.
So what do you get?
Negative 18.
Same answer, right? Very good. So negative 18. Now, what is the remainder when we divide by x minus 3?
0.
So if you get the remainder as 0, what does it mean?
X minus 3 is a factor of the polynomial.
Perfect. So this is a factor of the polynomial. Do you understand? So that means now we have got one factor. Can you get the second factor?
So can we use the a cube minus b cube formula?
There is no a cube minus b cube because it is not a binomial.
All right.
So let's do it on a fresh page. We know x minus 3 is a factor of this equation, right? So I'm saying that this, we know already that x minus 3 is a factor, right? So let's verify and find what is the quotient when I divide by x minus 3. Clear? So what we are going to do now is divide the whole thing, which is 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x minus 12. Akshay, perform this division.
Okay, sir. So first you would divide 2x cubed by x, which would be 2x squared.
Yes.
And then it would be 2x cubed minus 6x cubed, 6x squared. And then that would be 3x squared minus 5x after you bring it down. And then at the top, it would be 3x. And then 3x squared minus 9x. And then 4x minus 12. And that would be 4 at the top again. And 4x minus 12. And your remainder would be 0.
That this is a factor, correct? And therefore, we could write this polynomial as x minus 3 times 2x squared plus 3x plus 4, correct? You get it? So we have factored the polynomial. You get the idea? Now this is a quadratic equation which can be factored. If you don't have the, the whole numbers or the integer values, you could use the quadratic formula and factor it, correct? But it can be factored. That's the beauty of it. So we have, in a way, factored our cubic polynomial. Is this clear, these steps?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Perfect. So let's get back to our example. And now this time, tell me, what is the remainder of this when we are dividing by x minus 4? Mohammed, can you tell me what is the remainder when I divide by x minus 4?
Okay, so 2x cubed is going to be 64.
Yeah, calculate. Use calculator.
Yeah, 64.
No, the whole thing. Full answer.
Oh, full answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do it quickly. It's negative 16.
Okay. So you're saying negative 16. Now we are going to do synthetic division and verify our answer. Is that okay? Because this is going to be a practice for synthetic division. Most of the time, we are going to use synthetic division to do division. Okay. And we'll check. So how should I, okay, Mohammed, help me in doing this synthetic division. So we'll write down the coefficients which are given to us as 2, minus 3, minus 5, and minus 12. You're going to divide by what number? Tell me what will come here.
What, the first number?
Yeah, this will be 4, right? We want to divide by x minus 4 and see what is the quotient and what is the remainder. Do we get the remainder as minus 16? Okay. So first step is bring down 2. So we get 2, multiply by 4, and right here 8. And when you add them, what do you get? 8 minus 3 in this case is 5, right? Multiply and write 20. When you take away, that means you add them, you get 15. And when you multiply, this is 60, correct? What do you get when you add them? You don't get 16, so there is something wrong, right?
No, you don't.
So I'd like you to check the calculation. Akshit, can you just substitute 4 in this equation? Find what is 2
Yes, sir. I'm doing it. Yeah.
minus 3 4 square, right? Use calculator, please.
So I got 48.
You got 48, right? So this was the
Yeah.
wrong answer. So it should
Yeah.
have been 48. Do you see? So you may have to check your answer sometimes. Perfect. But is this synthetic division clear to everyone? All these steps of synthetic division, is it very clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
from here, what is the quotient? Akshit, can you tell me what is the quotient here?
Sir, the quotient would it'd be 2x cubed.
Square, 1 degree lower than this,
Oh, right. 2x squared minus 5x plus 15.
plus 5x.
Yeah, plus 5x plus 15.
Right. And the remainder is 48, correct? So
Yeah.
if you have to write this in a division statement, which is in this form, how will you write this? So this function can be written as 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x minus 12 is equal to what? This factor, which is the quotient, which is 2x squared plus 5x plus 15 times x minus 4, right? Plus the remainder, which is 48. Is that clear to you? So that becomes your division statement. So with the help of the very first example, we have seen What is remainder theorem? The value of the function at b, the divisor, we have to see, right? What is the division statement? What is factor theorem? If the remainder is 0, then we know that the divisor is the factor. Clear? We have seen what is long division. How do we perform that? We have also seen how should we perform the synthetic division. Perfect. So it is kind of review of all what you should know for this particular chapter. Is that clear to you? Everything clear? So let's move on. So we have the second example, and that is how do we factor a polynomial? To factor a polynomial, what we will see is we'll try different numbers. We'll also figure out a rule, what numbers to try with. In this case, we're looking at the factors of 12. So what are the factors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, right? 12. And what are the factors of 2? Factors of 2 are 1 and 2, right? All this with plus and minus. All this with plus and minus. All these are the factors. To figure out what is the right answer, you have to plug in the values one by one and check the remainder. And that is how the remainder theorem is helpful. So basically, we'll find what is the value of f of 1, what is f of 2, what is f of 3. We'll continue this process till we get a 0. Once we get a 0, then we know that one of the factor is known to us. We will divide the polynomial by that factor to get the quotient. And now we have factored the polynomial, correct?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, so if you have multiple factors, wouldn't that be a lengthy process?
Yes, it is. Especially if the degree is higher order, we just took simple equation, cubic. It could be degree 4, 5, or 6, correct? You may have to repeat this process. In a test, it might take 15 minutes. So you have to be very careful. A simple mistake which we came across will cost you marks in the test. So you have to be very careful. Is that clear to you? Maybe a simple process, but a small mistake there will ruin your paper. So that is why you have to be very careful. Okay? So the mistakes that you are making here are making you realize that they are not, they're taking away your marks, right, in the test. You may correct it, but you have lost the time for one more question. So, but I hope with this you have understood the whole process, correct? Now let us try to understand the remainder theorem the other way. What I'm trying to say here is that, Akshit, can you please read this remainder theorem?
Yes, sir. When a polynomial f of x is divided by x minus b, the remainder is f of b. F of x is the dividend, x minus b is the divisor, and q of x is the quotient, and r is the remainder.
Correct. You understand, right? So when I say divisor, then this is the divisor d of x. That is the quotient q of x. This is my function or the dividend, and that is my remainder, right? And that is how all these things are related. F of x is product of divisor and the quotient plus the remainder. Perfect. Now, think like this. What am I saying here? I'm saying that f of x is divided by x minus b. The remainder is f of b. F of b means what? F of b means that x equals to b, correct? That is the meaning, right? In this equation, what happens if I write x equals to b? If I substitute x as b, then this x is substituted as b. Then what do we get? We get b minus b, which is 0, right? Anything times 0 is 0, correct? So f of b is the remainder. Do you see this? That is a simple proof that the remainder is actually f of b, correct? Do you see that proof? Mohammed, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Vishnusa, clear?
It's clear.
And also, if f of b is 0, if the remainder is 0, then it is a factor. Clear? So we get our factor theorem. Ankit, Akshit, can you please read factor theorem?
Factor theorem. X minus b is a factor of polynomial f of x if f of b equals to 0.
Simple as that. Is this concept clear to everyone? Correct? So that is what factor theorem is. So this chapter is helping you to find the factors. If you can find factors, then what can you do? Well, you can factor the polynomial. Simple as that. Is that clear? Correct. So we have learned about polynomials, their division, two different methods, long division and the synthetic division. We know the division statement, we know remainder theorem, we know factor theorem. Now with that, let's go through some questions which I have taken as a test or a quiz for you. So the process here is that, these are actually the questions from previous test papers, very important. We'll begin with very simple questions, and then we'll get into some really complicated thinking questions. I will also like you to share with me the questions from your book whenever you feel like. And in case any doubt is there, ask me immediately, okay? Now, we'll begin with Vishruta. Vishruta, I'd like you to read the question and answer.
State the restriction.
Yeah, first read this.
Oh, consider division of polynomial by a polynomial. Binomial. Question 1, state the restriction.
Yes. So we are dividing 2x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 13 by x minus 2. So what is the restriction? Tell me.
-2.
No, x is not equal to 2 because that divisor cannot be 0, right? You cannot divide by 0. Is that clear to you? So this term x minus 2 is in the denominator, right? So that gives you that x minus 2 is not equal to 0. That means x is not equal to 2. Is this clear to you? So that becomes the restriction. Now, second, what is the remainder when you divide this by x minus 2? Tell me. What will you do?
Substitute it.
I got one.
Yeah, substitute and get the answer. Calculate. Anybody has calculated? Yeah, 2 persons
I got
calculated.
one. I got one.
Okay. Anybody else will confirm this answer? Now tell me question number 3. Divide. You may use synthetic or long division to tell me which of the following are not the quotient, are not the terms in quotient, not the terms in the quotient. Do you understand? Because quotient will be a quadratic polynomial, correct? So one of them is not in the quotient. Which one is not there in the quotient? Tell me. The other three are.
The answer I got 2x squared plus 3x plus 7.
So this is not there. You get the idea? So, okay. So this was very simple. Good. You all got it, correct? Now question number 4, 5, and 6 are based on the division statement given to us. Hamza, can you please answer this question?
Sure. So question 4, I think it would be D.
That is correct. 5.
Find the remainder. Okay, so okay. X. Can I just do something like that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. 2.
Anybody else can give a straight answer? 0. This is a factor, you know that, right? We are basically
okay. -8 minus 8.
Right? Minus 2 cube plus 8 will be 0, correct?
8. Yep.
Okay.
0.
Part C, 6. Answer. Which of the following terms are not in the quotient? Tell me.
8x. Sure, without solving, I think it would be 8x, but let me just solve.
So you could use the formula, which is the difference of cube and sum of cubes, right? So you get the formula, right? So it is plus. So which of the following terms, the word is terms. Do you see that terms? There could be more than one term. Which of the following terms are not in the quotient? So that is your quotient. So which are not there in the quotient?
8x.
There's 3 terms. So 8x, 4x.
All 3 are not there, correct? Only x square is there. So you have to be careful sometimes. there could be multiple answers. Is this part clear? So basically, we used our formula, which was which we derived in the last class. Perfect. Well, not in this sheet, but in the previous sheet, and we got our answer. Is that clear to you? Mohammed, can you answer this question number 7, 8, and 9, please?
Okay, x plus 1 the factor of
X plus 1 is a factor of this. True or false?
true.
False. If you put
False.
minus
Yeah.
1 here, you get minus 1 plus 8, which is 7, correct? It is not 0. So we know that f of minus 1 is not equal to 0. Therefore, it is not a factor. 8. Find the remainder. Tell me what is the remainder.
It's 9.
F of minus 1 is 7. So 7 becomes your remainder, correct? So you have to plug in the remainder theorem. Use the remainder theorem. Plug in minus 1. When you do minus 1 here, minus 1 cube is minus 1. So minus 1 plus 8, correct? What is the degree of quotient? Tell me.
What is
Degree of quotient. So when you divide, you get the quotient, right? So what is going to be the degree of quotient? So basically, x cubed divided by x will give you the degree of quotient, right? Which is x squared, correct? So degree 2. Is this clear to you?
yes.
Everyone?
Sir, the degree of the quotient will always be one lower than that of the.
Okay, let's be very clear about it. It depends on the divisor, correct? So we
Yeah.
use the rules, right? X to the power of m over x to the power of n. Degree will be m minus n.
Okay, got it.
In this case, it was 1, so 1 lower. Is that clear? Now here, again, Akshit, answer these questions. We are now dividing by a trinomial, not by a binomial, correct? So this, you may need to do the long division, figure it out. But let me answer the first question. Read and answer the first question number 10.
Okay, sir. Consider division of polynomial by a trinomial. Which of the following are restrictions?
Correct.
Uh,
You're dividing
I
by
think-
x. Yeah.
Sir, I think you'd have to find the factors of x squared plus 2x minus 3, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and then it would be 3 and negative 1.
3 and negative
As-
1. So 3 and negative 1, right? So there are two answers, right? So restrictions, correct? So very important. So you have to see that the divisor cannot be 0. So if I give you a divisor which is not just a linear function, you have to find the zeros of that, correct? And then figure it out. So it becomes very important to write here that x is not equal to 3 and minus 1, correct? So this is always to be written when you do polynomial divisions, correct? Now, continue, Akshit. Tell me question number 11. What can be the degree of remainder? This time remainder degree I want.
What can be the degree of the remainder? So, sir, would it be 3 or less?
No, you are dividing by x square. You are dividing by x square. If it is cubic, you can divide further. If it is quadratic, you can further divide, right? So it will be 1
Okay.
or less. It could be a linear function or a constant. Do you understand?
Wait,
So
sir.
it is 1 degree lower than the divisor.
Oh, okay. 1 degree
lower.
lower than the divisor. That's for the degree of the remainder, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And quotient degree you have understood is the difference of the two. Clear?
Yeah. M and
Very
N, right,
important
sir?
questions. Right. So these are actual test questions, and you should answer them in a minute. We cannot afford to waste time in these questions, right? Because you know that division itself takes a lot of time sometimes. Okay, question number 12. Akshit, can you tell me which of the following terms will be in the quotient? So you have to really perform the long division
Yeah, I
and
have
then tell
to.
me. So I'd like you
Okay.
to do the long division and tell me which ones are not there, right? So I'm not doing for you.
Yes, sir. I'll just do it.
Yeah. First one is there. I know I can see x squared divided by this gives me 2x cubed. So, but which of the following terms will be? So I know this is correct, but I don't know which others are correct. So you all figure it out. Long division.
I got 8.
Is there any other term? Because in between we need x square and 2x, I mean linear and quadratic, right?
Sir, just to be sure, when you're dividing it by a trinomial, you would follow the same steps, right, sir?
Correct. So this is not there. Do you understand? Because this degree is 2, this degree is 4. So the degree highest can be only 2, correct? So this should have been 2x square, not cube. Do you understand?
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too, because the first term has to be 4 minus 2 with
Yes.
power.
So is there any other term which is matching for you guys? Tell me. So what did you get answer when you divide?
I'm still doing it, sir.
Okay. So that should not take long. So 2x to the power of 4 plus x cube minus 4x square, placeholder 0x minus 2. Do you see that? We have to put a
Yes, sir.
placeholder there. And then you divide and you have x squared
Plus 2x
minus 3, right? So the first term will be 2x square, right? I should write at this place because I'm involving 3 of them. So I'll write here 2x squared. So when I do 2x squared, what do I get? 2x to the power of 4 plus 2 times 2, 4x cubed minus 6x squared, right? And when you take away, we get minus 3x cubed, and that gives you plus 2x squared plus 0x. And then you get minus 3x. So minus 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x. So you get minus 9x minus 2, right? And here we get 8x squared. And when you do this 8 times, you get 8x squared. 8 times 2 is 16. X, and 8 times 3 is minus 24. Did we do some mistake? So 8 times 3, 8 times 2, 16, and 8 times 3 is minus 24. And when you do this, you get 22 as your answer. Okay. So that is what we get, right? Do you get the same result, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It seems
So
to
we'll
be
go
correct,
with
yeah.
this. Yeah, we'll go with this. I think I made a mistake. It should have been 2x squared here. And that is why no answer is matching, correct? So, okay. So anyway, you understand how do we divide by a trinomial, correct? So we'll move on to the next question. Next question here is, Mohammed, I'd like you to answer this question. We have 2x to the power of 4 minus 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus x plus 10. We need to divide by x minus 2. Use synthetic division and answer the following questions. Write the remainder. So, well, you could write the remainder using remainder theorem also, but that will be a check, okay?
Sir?
But you have to do this synthetic division because you have to answer question number 14 also, which is the quotient is what? You get the idea? So without doing synthetic division or division, you cannot answer this question. But I like you to use, all of you can do synthetic division and check the answer, right?
You
Sir,
can just solve both questions like in one. Yeah.
Yeah. Try to do attempt the 14. That is order will automatically get, right? You could actually calculate what is the value of f of 2 and write down the answer for the first one. You could do that. No problem. But let's also do synthetic division to verify it. Is that clear to you? It's a practice.
Sir, Is it okay if we can go over this synthetic division problem together? I'm still a little
Yeah.
confused on the synthetic division.
Okay,
part.
first step. Okay, who is going to help me? Okay, I think Hamza, can you help me doing synthetic division? So you have to say the step
Okay.
I'm going to write. So
Okay.
this, yeah, tell me what should come here.
So for the quotients, so you put 2, 2, -3, -5, 1, and 10. Okay, so
So that is not the quotient, that is dividend, okay, or the function itself.
oh sorry, yeah. The
Yeah.
coefficients. Okay, sorry, I
Yeah,
messed it up.
coefficients. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
No, correct.
yeah.
No.
Okay,
Now
so
tell me.
bring the 2 down.
Yeah.
And then multiply that by 2, 4, and then subtract the 3.
Add. Yeah.
Add the 3.
That is one.
Yeah, -3. And then bring, yeah, so multiply that by 2 and then subtract, and then add 5. So you get -3, and then -3 multiplied by 2 and then add 1. So you get 7. I mean, sorry, 5. And then you bring the 5 and then multiply the -5 by 2, and okay, and then
You see that? So synthetic division is very
Yes, sir, I
powerful.
got it.
Akshat, is this step very clear?
Yes,
What
sir.
we
I
have
just
done
got
is-
confused when to add and multiply.
Yeah.
That's it.
So instead of -2, normally in the long division, we do x -2, right? Minus, right? And every process we do take away, take away, take away. Here, we are not dividing by -2, we're dividing by 2 and adding, adding, adding. It makes the same thing.
Yeah.
Adding is convenient, right? So we use the add operation here. And now, Hamza, can you tell me what is the quotient here?
quotient. So it'd be 2x cubed plus x. Okay, 3x minus 5. Okay.
Right? Remainder is 0. That means first quotient is correct. It is a factor. So we have in a way factorized this whole thing, correct? And we got this. And now which one matches with us? I think option A matches, right? -5 plus 3x. Yeah. Is that correct? Akshat, steps are absolutely clear to you?
Yes, sir. Got it. Sir, if we were to further expand on this question.
You could, yeah. It is continue.
And sir,
So
if you
what-
were to find the factor, like further factor, right, sir?
Yeah. So you have to
Using
try
factor
so many
theorem.
numbers. So what numbers
Yeah.
you have to try? F of 1, all the factors of 5, plus and minus.
5,
right?
yeah.
Plus minus
1 and 5, right?
plus minus 5. Then you have to try also plus minus half and plus minus 5 by 2. Because the factors which you have to try have to be factors of 5 divided by factors of 2.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a technique, right? Because you could take 2 common from the whole equation, you get 5 divided by 2, right? Ultimately, if you don't want any remainder, the constant should be divisible, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So that is why all the factors of the constant term when the leading coefficient is 1. Is that clear? Okay. Some more questions for you. Now, this is a very important question. We want to do synthetic division and divide by 2x minus 1. Then I would like you to do this question and tell me what is your answer. Answer these questions. I'm just waiting for you to do. Tell me, how will you do it?
So the first one, just plug in. Just plug in.
We'll write down the answer after doing the synthetic division because I need to answer question number 16 also, right?
Yeah.
Which I cannot answer. So why will I waste my time in even using remainder theorem? It is wastage of time. Do you understand?
Oh, you just all do it one. You can just do one thing and solve everything. Okay.
Yes. So be clear about it. Is that okay? So what will
Yeah.
you divide by? Tell me. Akshat, can you do it this time? We are dividing by
Yes,
2x
sir, I'll try.
minus 1. Hmm?
Yeah, sir. So you divide by a half, sir?
Very good.
Right. So you'd bring the 2 down and so can you hear me?
Yes, I am writing. 2
Yes,
down.
sir. So you multiply by half, which would be 1, and then add 1 to it. So it would be 2, and then multiply it again by half, and then add 1. So it'd be 6, and then 3, and subtract 1. So it'd be 2.
So do you see I always draw a line here? So that is the remainder part. So remainder is D. Do you get the idea now?
Yes,
So
sir.
we don't even have to calculate. It is not necessary to do remainder theorem, correct? Only when required. Don't use your tools or knowledge when not required. 2 is the remainder. What is the quotient? Tell me what matches. Now, one thing very clear. This question is with a purpose. What is your quotient? Tell me now. Which one is the right answer in question number 16, Akshit? All of you
Sir.
try it and all of you give me a choice.
So I think this is a tricky question because it has the same coefficients, but the sign is different. So only one of them is the correct answer. Because one of them is -6 and then the other is +6.
Okay. So Akshit, you are saying one of these?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Let me tell you, both of them are wrong answers.
Oh, really?
We are dividing by 2x minus 1. So basically, you're very critical. Anybody can tell me the right answer now, please? Second attempt.
I think it's B.
That is the correct answer. Why? 2x minus 1 is I take 2 common, then I get x minus half. Do you see that? So what you have done is you have only divided by this factor. Did you divide by 2? No. So now we have to divide this by 2.
Okay, yeah.
So when you divide this by 2, remainder will not change. Remainder will remain. Remainder is correct. But 2, 2 and 1 gets divided by 2. And what you get here is 1, 1 and 6. Do you see that? Or 1, 1 and 3, sorry. And therefore, the answer is B. So when you're doing synthetic division, this is a very important test question. You have to be careful. When I divide by something like ax minus b, in that case, the quotient should be whatever quotient you are getting, right? You have to divide that by a, because you factored out a, right? You get the idea? Look here, ax minus b, you factored out a, you wrote this as x minus b by a, correct? So that means you did not divide by a, correct? You got a quotient. Let's say you got quotient qx. You have to divide that quotient by a to get the real quotient. Do you see that?
Sir, so first we divide by b over a, and then once we get our final, then we divide by
Divide
a
by
again,
a.
right?
Yes. Anybody answer question number 17. That will summarize what we have just learned.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
I
tell
can
me.
give it a shot. So if f of x is divided by 2x minus 1 and the quotient is q of x and the remainder is r of x, right? So then we divide f of x again by x minus half and the quotient is little q of x and the remainder is little r of x.
Correct.
So since we just did that, when we divided it by half and then we divided it again by 2, we saw that it would be half of the answer when dividing it by x minus half.
So which one is the right answer?
So I think it would be 2q of x equals to q of x.
Correct.
And yeah, r of x equals to little r of x.
2q of x, because that means q of x is equals to half of q of x, right?
Yeah.
That is 2q of x equals to q of x. And important thing to note is that the remainder remains same whether you divide by half or not, right? I mean, either way, correct? Only the quotient value, because you cannot divide the remainder, we never divided, we left it alone. So whatever was the quotient, that was supposed to be divided by 2. Is this clear to you? Very, very important. And that is
Sir?
where, yes.
Just to confirm one more time, we do divide by b minus a or half in this scenario first, and then after we get the remainder, we just leave it alone and then divide all the coefficients by 2 after, right?
Exact. Perfect
Okay.
answer. Summarize, make a note of it. Very good job. Now, here is question number 18. I like Vishruta. Read the question. Tell me, how will you answer this question?
Area of a triangle is 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 the base is 4x plus 6, determine the height of the triangle.
Yes, how will you do it?
I would rearrange the formula so that
Yes.
height is equal to the equation,
Yeah.
and then plug in the numbers.
So height is 2 times. Now in this case, yeah. So base is 4x plus 6, right? So I'll divide. So basically what happens?
So it would be, you would divide the 2.
So you'll get so basically it's a division problem, correct? Right? Can you do and check the answer? Anybody tell me the answer? How will you do it?
So I think the answer, I'm doing it right. So it would be starting with x, like the first leading term.
Can I say you can divide by 2x plus 3 because half of b is this much, right? Half of this is 2x plus 3, correct?
Sir?
Yes.
I just wanted to know if we can do it this way. Since we know that the area is base times height divided by 2, right?
Yeah.
So can we plug in a for the area and then just multiply by 2 and then divide it by the base?
Yeah. Yeah. So what
Okay.
I'm doing is because my base is a factor of 2, so I divide my base itself by 2, I get 2x plus 3. So basically I'm dividing this by 2x plus 3. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, do that and get me the answer. You can do synthetic or long division as you wish.
Sir, when I did it, sir, I got so sir, like yes, sir, I got x plus 1 too because I did it the other way and I got 4x plus 6 divided by 4x plus 6.
Correct. So that becomes the right answer. And that is how you'll do it. You can perform synthetic division or long division as you wish, right? You will get x plus 1 as your right answer. Question number 19 is similar. Hamza, I'd like you to read the question.
Tent has the shape of a triangular prism. The volume of the tent is x cubed plus 7x squared plus 11x plus 5 cubic units. The triangular face of the tent is 2x plus 2 units width and x plus 1 is units height. How long is the tent?
Okay, so you know the volume formula. Volume is area of the base because it's triangular. So half base times height, and we'll multiply everything with the length, correct? And you can rearrange this formula and then you can find what length is. So it is similar to the previous question, and then you can solve it. Is that okay? So let this be your homework. We'll not get into that. But Hamza, I'd like you to answer question number 20.
Okay. When f of x is divided by x minus a, okay, so I'll read the options. F of a is the quotient, f of a is the dividend, f of a is the remainder, and f of a is the divisor.
Correct option is?
F of x is the f of a is f of a is the would it be b?
No, see, remainder. So when you're dividing by x minus a, the remainder is f of a. That's the remainder theorem, correct? So when you
Again,
divide f of x by x minus a, you get a quotient and you get a remainder, right? So what is remainder? Remainder is f of a, right? That is remainder theorem, correct?
yeah.
That is what it is, correct?
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
it is, you, okay. Now, okay. Akshat, can you please read this question?
Anil has designed a rectangular storage unit to hold large equipment. His scale model has dimensions 1 meter by 2 meter by 4 meter. He increases each dimension by the same amount to produce an actual storage unit that is 9 times the volume of his scale model. Find the perimeter of the larger rectangle.
Very difficult question. So basically, I am increasing each side. So now it becomes 1 plus x times 2 plus x times 4 plus x, right? That becomes the volume, correct?
Yes, sir. And that has to equal like 9 times the volume, right?
So 9 times 1 times 2 times 4. 9 times 4 times 2 is 8. Do you see that? So you find x from here. Once you find x, then perimeter will be sum of all these sides, correct? Times 3, because the cubic storage. Do you see that? So it is like each side is 4 times, correct? So you add them, find the perimeter, sum of 1, and then multiply by 4 to get your answer. One of this will be your answer. Do you understand all the steps? Vishruta, do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
Everybody? Any doubts? Try this question at home. This will be your homework. Is it okay? Question number 22. Mohammed, can you please read question number 22?
When a certain polynomial is divided by x plus 2, its quotient is x minus 9, and the remainder is 7. What is the
polynomial? Yes, tell me the answer.
X plus 2 quotient is x. What is it?
Use the division statement, correct? Quotient times the divisor plus the remainder. That is your function, correct? So you have to expand this and then get the answer. Apply distributive property. So all of you, try it out.
Sir, I have,
Yeah.
sir, x squared minus 9x plus 2x minus 18 plus 7, which would be x squared minus 7x minus 11.
That is the right answer because I can do an easy calculation. 9 times 2 is 18, right? Minus 18?
Yeah, and then you just add 7.
Yeah, I do get only one negative answer, and that is the answer. So sometimes you can do a shortcut. I know there are other terms, but then with minus 11, nothing else matches. So we can actually do sometimes a shortcut method to get to the answer. Well, there could be two negative. In that case, the first term is x squared, right? That is common. Then you have to find the middle term. You should be good at distributive property to answer this question. Very good. Okay. Vishruta, can you please answer question number 23?
The division statement is,
Yeah, which one of these?
I don't understand the question.
What is the division statement?
Sir, can I try?
Yeah, try.
Sir, would it be B?
Yes. When you divide a polynomial by x minus b, you get a quotient plus the remainder divided by not b. Yeah, b, that is correct. Divide by this and this. That is correct. This is division statement, right? So what we are doing here is that we are dividing a polynomial p of x by x minus b, right? You get a quotient here and you get a remainder. And that is how you are writing it, correct? That's a division statement, correct? Okay, so that brings us to the end of this. This is just solutions for all this, right? Okay, that's fine. So I think we have learned a lot today from all this. Now, I would like you to share the questions from your book. I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll give you the authority to, you can now share. So anybody, do you have your book or textbook which you want to share? Unit 3 is the this chapter on polynomials, and the chapter is 6, right? So you can go through the exercise. So why don't you share, and we'll just take a few questions randomly.
Sir,
Anyone
I
of
can
you.
share the book. I have it
Okay,
open.
share the book. Till now, I hope you have understood the concepts, right? Go through
Yes,
the
sir.
exercise. Go to chapter 6 of unit 3. Remainder theorem. Factoring polynomials. Go to the exercise straight. We have done the whole
Yes, sir.
thing, right? Okay, great. So let's go, and then answer these questions. Let's go to question number 4 first. Akshat,
Yes, sir.
can you read?
State the remainder when x plus 2 is divided into each polynomial.
What
So
will
you
you
just
do?
plug in -2
No.
into each of these and then find the remainder.
So we basically find p of -2, correct? So
Yeah.
now let's go to factorfully. We can do question number 8. Can you answer question number 8?
Use the factored form of f of x to sketch the graph of each function question 7. So sir, should I take like
You had to take something, right?
okay, sir. So
Let's take
okay,
B.
if I take b, right, x cubed minus 7x minus 6.
Hmm.
So you'd have to find the factors of 6 and 1. So it would
Yeah.
be 1, sorry, plus or minus 1, 2, 3, and 6.
So just plug in 1. And what do you get? When you plug in 1, you get 1 minus 7
7
minus 6.
6.
That
If it's
doesn't
not
work,
0.
right?
Yeah.
So plug in -1.
Minus
So you
1
get
with
-1, right? Plus 7. And then here you get
minus
-6.
6.
And that gives you 0, right?
Yeah.
F of -1 gives you 0.
So
Therefore, you
x
can now
plus
divide
1.
by -1, correct? Okay, clear all scale. So divide this, do synthetic division. -1 gives you 0. Write down all the terms, which are what? 1.
1 minus 7 minus 6.
No, you have to write a placeholder 0. Do you see that? X squared term is missing.
Oh, x squared term. Yeah.
-7 and -6, correct? Do synthetic division. Bring down 1.
Okay, so you bring down 1.
-1, add -1, multiply plus 1, add -6, multiply. So you get 6, add,
And
you
then
get 0,
0.
correct? So what do you get
Yeah.
here? X squared minus x minus 6.
Minus 6.
And you can factor this 3 times 2, right? So x minus 3 times x plus 2. Is this clear to you? So
Yes,
now
sir.
you know x minus 1 is another factor. So f of x is basically equal to x plus 1 times x minus 3 times
And x
x
plus
plus
2.
2. Is that clear to you?
So now you'd sketch it, right, sir? With
Can you
the
sketch it?
yes, sir. So it'd be a degree of 3.
Yeah. So
And
zeros.
the leading coefficient is, and the zeros is -1, 3, and -2. And the leading coefficient is positive.
Leading coefficient positive, right side up. This is down, so you'll just do like this, correct?
Yes, sir. And the multiplicity is all
All
1, right,
1.
sir?
And
Yeah.
find the y-intercept. So find what is f of 0. Okay, very important. Do not forget that. Just plug in 0. So you get 1 times
So
-3 times 2. So which is -6. Is this step clear to everyone? Simple as that, right? You can take a picture of this just for your reference, and I'll remove this and we'll go to some other questions, correct? Okay, move
This is
ahead.
being recorded, right? So we can just check the recording tomorrow, like when you upload it.
Pardon? I didn't get you. Wait. We'll do some questions from here. Go up. Sorry. Yes. Can I have your question again, please?
No, I was saying that this lesson is being recorded, so you can just check what you did tomorrow, right, when you upload the video.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I think yeah, that's correct. Okay. So yeah, just move forward. Let's do question number 9.
So I'll zoom in so it's easier for us to see.
Yeah, that'll be good.
The
9. Okay.
polynomial.
Can anybody read this question? Hamza, can you please read and tell me how will you do this?
Polynomial 12x cubed plus kx squared minus x minus 6 has 2x minus 1 as one of its factors. Determine the value of k.
How will you do it?
Okay. It's 2x minus 1 is one of its factors. Would you div? Yeah. So would Okay. Would you divide it and then find it? or-
No need to divide. We know that 2x minus 1 is a factor. Therefore, when you divide by 2x minus 1, 0 should be a remainder. We'll use the remainder theorem. So plug in x equals to half in the polynomial. So we'll do 2 times half cube plus k times half square minus half minus 6 equals to 0 and find the value of k. Is that clear?
Okay, you could plug it in, but I thought you could also find it by dividing 2 gets a factor, right? Or no?
Yeah, in between there is k, so you'll have a lot of difficulty in dividing, okay?
Okay.
Don't divide.
Okay.
Don't divide. Plug in the value of x as half, use your calculator to calculate all the values, and then isolate k and find it. Is that clear to you? Perfect. That is how you're going to do this question. Okay, now,
Sir?
yes?
Sir, just to confirm, if it was something else instead of 2x minus 1, let's say like something 4x minus 1, then you plug in 1 over 4, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay, Akshay, do question number 10.
Okay, 10. When ax cubed minus x squared plus 2x plus b is divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 10. When it is divided by x minus 2, the remainder is 51. Find a and b.
How will you do it?
Oh, okay. So when we divide by x minus 1, the remainder is 10, meaning when we plug in 1 over here, the remainder should be
Correct.
10.
So write 10 equals to plug in 1. So we get a minus 1 plus 2 plus b, correct?
Yes, sir.
That becomes your equation number 1. And then it says when
And
x
then-
minus 2 is the divisor, then the remainder is 51. So write down 51 equals to plug in 2 here. So 2 cube is 8. So 8a, 2 square is 4, minus 4. 2 times 2 is 4 plus b. You get second equation, right?
And now you solve the equations, right, sir?
2 equations, right? And then you can easily solve linear system. Is that clear to
Yeah.
you? So that is how you're going to do that question, okay? Let's look into question number 11. Vishruta, can you please read the question?
Determine a general rule to help decide whether x minus a and x plus a are factors of x to the power of n and minus a to the power of n and x to the power of n plus a to the power of n.
Correct. How will you figure it out? General rule means what? N could be positive, even or odd. Do you understand? So we have learned the formula of n could be, difference of square, a square minus b square is a plus b times a minus b. Both are the factors. You remember a square minus b square is what? It is a plus b times a minus b. Do you see that? That means both are the factors, correct? But when it is odd power, not this one, which question are we working on? This
11.
one. When it is n is odd, then we know with plus only plus 1 is the factor, correct? So let me just clear this. When it is odd, in that case, we have corresponding factors. Do you understand?
Right.
Odd number, 2x plus 1. Odd number. When n is odd, n is odd. Is that clear to you? So it all depends whether the degree is odd or even. You get the idea? When it is even, both are factors. Why? Because minus 1 square is always plus 1 and plus 1 square is also equal to plus 1. And both are factors only for difference, not for this. So let me summarize. So we'll summarize like this. When n is odd or even, is it okay? In that case, what are the factors? If it is even, then as far as x to the power of n plus a to the power of n is concerned, then for even, we do not have any factor. Do you see that? None. I mean, I should write what? None. But if I have x to the power of n minus a to the power of n, both. Because difference of square is a plus b times a minus b, correct? But if I have a square plus b square, then cannot be factored, right? That is what I mean. It cannot be factored, correct? Now, yes. If it is case of an odd, in that case, x to the power of n plus a to the power of n, the factor will be x plus a. But for x to the power of n minus a to the power of n, factor will be x minus a, correct? So both of them will be factors respectively in the case when n is odd. Is that clear to you?
So you can take x cubed plus b y cube as a example for that, right?
You could, yeah.
Okay, sir.
And generalize it to even and odd. So basically you have to write two answers that when n is even, what is the condition? When n is odd, what is the condition? Is that clear? So that is how you're going to answer this question. And you know, these type of questions are always seen in the test paper, right? So Mohammed, I'd like you to answer question number 13, please. Read and answer.
Consider the function fx equals to x cubed plus 4x squared plus kx minus 4. The remainder from fx divided by x plus 2 is twice the remainder from fx divided by x minus 2. Determine the value of k.
How will you do it? So read again. The remainder from f of x divided by x plus 2, which is f of minus 2, is 2 times remainder from f of x divided by x minus 2. You get this condition. Do you see that? Mohammed, is that clear to you? So that basically means on the left hand side, plug in minus 2. So you get minus 2 cubed, right? Which is, let's say, minus 8. Minus 2 will give us plus 8. And here will give us minus 2k minus 4 is equal to 2 times, plug 2 in here, right? So 8 and 4 is 16 and plus 2k minus 4. Is that clear? So you have one linear equation in which you can find the value of k. Is this clear? So that is how you're going to answer this question. Perfect. Anybody, any doubts? Okay, go to the extended section, please. Akshat, can you answer question number 16?
Yes, sir. Use the factor theorem to prove that x squared minus x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 10.
Correct. So what is factor theorem?
Okay, sir. So factor theorem, we would consider the factors of this and the leading coefficient, which should be 1 for this, and then 1, 5, and 2 for that. So
yes. So
So,
basically,
sir,
you're dividing by x squared minus x minus 2, correct?
yes, sir.
So basically, this has two factors. You could always write them as two factors, correct? You could write this as x minus 2 times x plus 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
So if you divide this equation first by one of those factors, that basically means that f of 2 should be equal to 0, correct?
Yeah.
And with the second one, f of minus 1
Minus
equals
1.
to 0. If both the conditions are satisfied, then we know that that is a factor, correct?
Oh, yeah, wow. Because this entire thing is a factor, right?
Okay.
So if we split it, then also those two daughter functions should also be producing 0. That makes sense, yeah.
Question number 17, Hamza, can you please read question number 17 and answer?
Prove that x plus a is a factor of x plus a to the power of 5 plus x plus c to the power of 5 plus a minus c to the power of 5.
How will you do this question, please?
I try to bring it into one term and then divide it.
How? No division. Use remainder theorem. Anybody has Mohammed? Can you give me an attempt? How will you do question number 17, please?
Remainder theorem.
Remainder theorem, how will you use it? X plus A is a factor of given polynomial. What will you
So
do?
can I
Yes.
try with?
Right.
Sir. So prove that x plus a is a factor of this, right? So x plus a. So negative a has to
Yes.
produce 0.
So replace X with negative A and see what you get. Do it. So negative A plus A is 0, right?
0, yeah. And then negative a
Plus
plus c to the power of 5 plus
negative A plus C to the power of 5. Here
plus
what do you
a to the
get?
power of.
Here you get
That's
plus
also 0.
A minus C to the power of 5. So this is 0, right? So we get 0 plus negative A plus C to the power of 5. And this is negative of negative A plus C, right? To the power of 5. So it is also equal to 0. Correct? This is negative 1 times this. Is this clear to you? All of you?
Yes.
You understand? So that is how you could actually do this particular exercise. Is this all clear? Let's go back to this lesson and see what was the summary and the key issues. Have we covered them all? Yeah, please read this.
Yes. In summary, key ideas. The remainder theorem, when a polynomial f of x is divided by x minus a, the remainder is equal to f of a.
Correct.
Like we went over, yeah. The factor theorem x minus a is a factor of f of x if and only if f of a equals to 0. Yeah, so this
Correct.
relates to the remainder theorem, right, sir?
Yes. Need to know.
Need to know, to factor a polynomial f of x of degree 3 or greater, use the factor theorem to determine a factor of f of x, divide f of x by x minus a, factor the quotient if possible. If a polynomial f of x has a degree greater than 3, it may be necessary to use the factor theorem more than once.
Correct.
Not all polynomial functions are factorable.
Important. Not all polynomials can be factored. Is this all clear to you? So that brings us to the end of this chapter, but I think what we have to do here is do something which is extended beyond this, correct? So let me just share with you my videos now. So what I will do here is I will just search, right? So, okay, Akshit, can you just go to my YouTube channel and just type in Anil Kumar, Polynomial, Remainder Theorem?
Yes, sir, I'll do that. So
Playlist.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. So what we have not really done is how do we use the remainder theorem when we have seen binomial, right? If we have trinomial as a divisor, how do we use that? Do you understand?
Sir, you said Anil Kumar polynomial functions?
Polynomial division.
Okay, polynomial division. Yeah, I see it. Okay, I'll share my screen. I have two up here, remainder theorem and polynomial division.
Do we have, okay, click this second one, remainder theorem with examples when divided by a quadratic function. Do you see, we did a very simple search. Do this, click this. You see what we get? We get something which is not there normally taught, correct? It is a very difficult question asked as a bonus question in your exam. And that is what you get in my videos. You see that? Now, let's look into this question. Yeah, go a bit ahead. Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
So shall I unmute it?
That's okay. Now go further. These are simple examples. You know what remainder theorem is. Okay, go further. This is kind of example we just now did from that book, right?
The book, yeah.
Okay, now stop. Can you please read this question?
Yes, sir. Determine remainder when x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 2 is divided by, that, x plus 3, x plus 5.
Using remainder theorem. Not by long division. Using remainder theorem, now you answer this question. You learned everything which you wanted to do. We did extended portion also from your book, correct? This is beyond that. And in my video, we have hundreds of questions like this. So I'd like you to now tell me, any one of you, how will you answer this question? Using remainder theorem, we have to find the remainder when we are dividing by trinomial. I've given this simply as a factored form, x plus 3 times x plus 5. Tell me, what is going to be the remainder?
So you can find each specific remainder first by plugging in -3 and then -5.
You're saying find f of -3, find f of -5. Okay, then what? What is the actual remainder?
Right.
Let's say we get
Yeah.
remainder R1.
So would you multiply them together after R1 times R2?
So that is not known to you, correct? From today's knowledge. You see that? Yes, first step is correct. You will do this. You will get two remainders. How will you find the remainder from these two remainders? Anybody?
So you wouldn't multiply it?
They won't get multiplied. You will do one by one, correct? You will get first some remainder. How will you divide them further?
Right.
So that is very tricky, right? So what I would like you to do, since we will save some time and you will understand the method, because I do normally the whole solution on a single page, go slightly further, almost at the end, right? Almost at the end. You can see the whole solution on the screen, okay? And I'll explain you the solution. Now look here. We have the division statement. Akshay, can you please read this division statement?
Yes, sir. F of x equals to x plus 3, x plus 5 times the quotient x plus remainder x. And
So we
R of
don't
x
know
equals
what
to
the
ax plus
quotient is
b.
going to be. We don't know what is the quotient. We don't know what is the remainder. But we know the division statement, correct? Which is the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. So is this statement clear to everyone, the division statement? All of you. Is it clear? Mohammed? Akshay, is it clear? Everybody, this is very important question. If it comes as a bonus question. You can score 110 out of 100. Remember this part. My students do score like this. Okay. Now look here. We have x plus 3 times x plus 4 times the quotient, which we don't know, plus the remainder, which we don't know. But what we know is, if I substitute -5, then the first term will be 0, right? This will be 0 if I substitute -5. I get remainder at -5. You get the R1, which we calculated. Do you get the idea? So as Akshat was saying, we will actually calculate the remainder 1 at both the places, f of -5 and f of -1. So we have these two values with us, right? So we are saying f of -5 is -47 and f of -3 is 1, correct? But now, look here, we get two different equations. If I substitute -5, in that case, I get remainder as f of -5, correct? Is that clear? So let me explain you again. When I'm dividing this cubic equation by a quadratic equation, what remainder do I expect? It is a linear, right? So my remainder will be a linear function ax plus b. We don't know what this is. Now when I substitute -5, -5 comes for x, so I get -5a plus b. Is that correct?
Basically, you're just using one of the factors.
Pardon?
Are you just using one of the factors like the -5?
Yeah, that is my remainder, right?
Okay, yeah.
I can also find, when I plug in -5 in this equation, I know what the remainder is. I know what the remainder is, right? Which is -47, correct? But now look here. My equation for -3, when I substitute, I get a times -3 plus b, correct? So what do you need to do? Yes, please.
Sir, for a times -3 plus b, sir, where did we substitute -3 into?
So first thing is, okay, first you find what is f of -5. Just plug it in this equation. So f of -5 is -47.
47,
correct?
Yeah.
Similarly, find what is f of -3 equals to. F of -3, when you plug in,
1, yeah.
It is 1, right? So we know f of -3 is 1, correct? So that means actually the remainder will be what? Remainder will be a times -5 plus b, and that remainder is -47. So I get one equation. Is that clear to you? Second
Okay.
day, when I substitute, then I get a times minus 3 plus b, and my remainder was 1. Is that okay? So now I have two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, in which there are two unknowns, a and b. And I can solve this linear system and get the value of both a and b, and therefore I will know what the remainder is. Okay, so let's go back a bit. Akshat, let's go back a bit so that I'll explain you the process. Then we will again come in front. Is it okay? Because I need space to write. Go back. Yeah, click, go back, Akshat. So that I'll write down all this.
Yes, sir. I think it's just loading.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It's a bit slow.
Yeah.
I'll just reload the
Very
videos.
important question. Focus on this, okay?
So these are all test questions, right?
Yeah. And there will be many such questions, okay? So dividing by a trinomial is a big thing, and then using a remainder theorem. So let me give you all the steps. Make a note of all these steps. Now pause the video. First thing first, when you are given the function and you have the divisor, first you find what is the value of f of minus 3 equals to. Then you find what is the value of f of minus 5 equals to. Is that clear to you? Use your calculator. Just plug it in this particular equation. F of minus 3 I found to be 1 and minus 5 was minus 47. Is this clear to you? First step. Now, I'm removing all this, right? We know this. So now, when I'm dividing by, let us say this, then I basically say f of minus 3 is actually equals to 1, correct? But it is equal to the remainder, right? So we are saying what the remainder is going to be. Since the divisor is of degree 2, the remainder is equals to a linear function ax plus b. Is that clear to you? So in this equation, I know 1 is the remainder, but my remainder should be ax plus b. So I'm writing this as a times x value is minus 3 plus b, right? Which gives me one equation, which is minus 3a plus b is equal to 1. Is this clear? I'm calling this as equation number 1, correct? Second, I'm now plugging in f of minus 5, and this is minus 47. So I know a of minus 5 plus b is minus 47, or minus 5a plus b is minus 47. This is my equation number 2. We have two equations. We'll solve them. Get the value of a and b, and that becomes our remainder. Is that clear to everyone?
Sir, after we get the value of a and b, right? Don't we have two values? So
No,
we
no,
have
a
to
value a, b value b. We have got ax plus b the remainder.
Oh, okay, right.
Go to the end of the video, see the answer. So we got the value of a as 24 and b as 73. So 24x plus 73 is the remainder. And we have used remainder theorem to solve this question. You can verify the result by doing long division. Then you multiply x plus 3 and x plus 5 and do the long division. That is the remainder which you are going to get. Are these steps clear to everyone? Correct? Now again, make a search. Remainder theorem, quadratic divisor. Yeah, remainder, Anil Kumar, yeah, remainder theorem, quadratic. Yeah, okay, right, quadratic, okay, clear. Run. Search. Okay, click this one now, 33 minutes video. Yes, click this one, yes. Okay, these are excellent videos to watch. Let's go through these questions. This is half an hour video. That means I must have solved a couple of questions in this particular video. So let's see this. Okay, pause the video. Okay, Akshat, can you please read the questions?
Yes, sir. Apply remainder theorem to calculate remainder for the following. 3x to the power of 4 plus x cubed minus 2x squared plus 5 divided by x minus 1.
This is basic. You know all this, correct? Now,
Yes,
read
sir.
question number 2, please.
Apply remainder theorem to calculate the remainder for. Okay, this is just like what we just did right now.
Can you tell me the process of getting the answer, please? Explain these steps. Akshit, how will you solve question number 2?
Okay, sir. So first we can find f of me.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, f of
Sir,
1.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. My internet is unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
you
then
can find f of
minus
1
2,
and f
yes.
minus 2.
And then what will you do?
And then, sir, you can equate that using a and b, just like we did
So
before.
minus 2a plus b, correct? And f
Yes,
of
sir.
1 will be a plus b. Is that
A
correct?
plus b.
You
Yes,
got
sir.
these two equations, correct? Solve them, get a and b. Done.
And then yeah.
Is this clear to everyone? Simple as that. Perfect.
Sir,
I don't
in the
understand
place of
one thing.
Yes,
I'm
say.
just not clear about it. But why do you use the equation a plus like the a plus b? Why do you use that equation?
Because you are dividing by quadratic equation. So if you divide by a quadratic equation, what could be the maximum degree of remainder? Linear 1. Do you understand? Linear equation is mx plus b or ax plus b, correct? That is why. So that means that the remainder r of x is equal to ax plus b. You could use anything else, but basically it's a linear function, right? So remainder is a linear function. Good question. Therefore, we are using ax plus b. We have to find both.
Sir,
Yes.
just to confirm, we found that minus 2a plus b, right? But we always put the minus 2 in front of the a, right? Or whatever the value is in front of the a.
Yeah, because the division statement is what? The division statement is that f of x is equals to, in this particular case, x plus 2 times x minus 1 times the quotient, right?
Yeah.
Plus the remainder, right? Which I am writing as ax plus b.
Ax plus b, right? Makes sense.
Now, if I put x equals to minus 2, this is 0. So I get the remainder minus 2a plus b.
Oh, yeah.
If I put 1, this is again 0.
So
I
then
get
a
f
plus
of
b.
minus 1 as minus 1 minus
Okay.
a plus b.
Yeah.
So these questions help us to understand better. Valid questions. Perfect. Good answer. Is this clear to everyone? Very important. If this question is not asked in your test this semester, first year university, first question. That is your first question in your first year university. You understand? Entrance exam. So be careful about it. Very serious. So you're not only preparing for high school, I'm making you ready for your university first year. Okay, now, the last question. Go back. The third question.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, sir.
I should go back. You can do these questions, right? The last, can you please read the last question?
Yes, sir. Polynomial f of x divided by x plus 2 and x minus 1 gives remainder of minus 19 and 2 respectively. What is the remainder for f of x divided by x plus 2 and x minus 1?
Correct. So now how will you answer this question? I've
So,
already
sir,
given you the remainder. Yes, tell me. Tell me. Answer.
they use the word respectively. So f of minus 2 gives you negative 19 and f of
Correct.
1 gives you 2.
So negative 19 will be equals to, you get this when you divide by x minus 2. That means minus 2a plus b.
Plus
you get
b.
one equation. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Which is simple.
Okay.
And when you divide by x minus 1, that means with 1, you get a remainder of 2. So 2 equals to a plus b. Is this clear to you, right? What do? Just take away one equation from the other. B will cancel, correct? So when you take
Yes, sir.
away, you get minus 3a equals to minus 21. So a is 7, right? You see how easily we got the answer? Students in your class will not even understand head and tail of this question. They will not know what to do. In 2 minutes, we are going to answer this question. Do you see where you are now? That is the bonus question. which will give you
Sir,
extra 5 minutes.
after this class, can you send a link of all these videos like on the
This
chat?
is search. Just do Anil Kumar remainder theorem quadratic.
Okay, so
Remainder
okay,
Let
so
me
this is
tell you a
remainder
funny
theorem, right? This is all this is about.
Sir,
quadratic.
if you want, I can put the video in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. Put the link. Put the link.
Okay,
I
sir.
will share you the most interesting thing. That is so funny. In the book, there will be a statement which will say remainder theorem can be used only when we have a linear factor. They
Oh,
don't
we,
talk about quadratic.
yeah, and then you already solved it. Okay.
Do you see
Wow.
this? What happens when you have quadratic? You understand the limitations of your, I should say, the books or the curriculum.
Sir, if it wasn't a quadratic, then we can do ax plus b because it wouldn't be a linear remainder, right?
We can even do with cubic because then it will be a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, and we will use the same method.
Yeah.
So you can actually use the remainder theorem dividing with any polynomial, not forget about linear. You get the idea? There is no restriction. I could use the
Okay.
same formula. Only thing is I need 3 points, right?
Correct.
It all depends how many. To define a line, I need 2 points. Therefore, we are looking into f of a and f of b, correct? So these are very, very important questions. I have termed them as extended because over the period of last 15 years, I have seen these questions as bonus questions in the test. Do you get the idea?
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, if we ever have a question just like x, we just plug in 0 over here, right? And then you just evaluate to 7.
Yes, 7. You're correct.
Okay, yeah.
Very tricky. So you just got it. X plus 0, that means, right?
Yeah, x plus 0, right?
So at 0, just plug in 0. 7. Y-intercept. So that is how you're going to answer these questions. Now, I'd like you to just, there's a very beautiful playlist here. I'd like you to do Anil Gurmen, Gurmen, playlist. Anil Kumar, Gurmen, N, single E, playlist. Now, Gurmen was my student, and we did a lot of videos over the last summer. Oh my God, polynomial, also type polynomial. Getting to my videos is not easy, because, very few people. So just click on this second video there, right? So there are so many sponsored candidates, so their videos are always on the top. Now, this particular playlist is with a student who was like you, learning polynomials, or I should say advanced functions, in the summer before the September session. Is that clear to you? So I made videos with her. So if you go through this playlist, you will actually come across excellent questions. You get the idea, right? So, and I have multiple questions here. Go down the list, Akshat. We'll take up something from here, right? So
Yes.
you will understand how do we do all this. Go further down. Okay. Right. I just wanted, do we have some, yeah, go further down. Okay. Now just check this video, which has got some, or rather, okay. So go up. I would like you to show you one with a lot of, yeah, wait. So this, yeah, click this, yeah. Let's see the challenge. So when I put a challenge word there, those videos are slightly more tricky, and you need to dig more deeper, right, to get the right answer, right? Can you please read this question? Factor ax cubed plus a minus bx squared plus minus 2a minus bx plus 2b. How will you factor this? Anybody? Cubic equation. How will you factor Hamza? Tell me, what will be your first step to factor this particular equation?
Factor ax plus a minus bx squared plus -2. Never seen such an equation, but plus -2. So what I would do is that
So can you expand
a
it?
common. Is that what I do first? Yeah.
Never expand. Never expand.
Yeah, it'll take longer, right?
Never.
Could you just take the a common?
No. Basic theorem. How will you factor? You have to find f of what, which should be equal to 0. Then you can divide and factor, correct? That's a hint. Yes,
Oh,
anybody?
so sir, whatever makes 2b 0, right? So 2b,
What? No, no, factors of 2b. Factors
oh,
of
factors of 2b.
2b. Yes. So factors of
Oh,
2b could be what? It could be 2, it could be b. So you have to try b minus b. Do you understand?
and 2, right,
You
sir?
can try 2b minus 2b. You could try 2, right? You can try minus 2. You can try 1 and minus 1. Do you understand now? So it seems that b could work for you, right? Or something like this. Do you understand? Or maybe 1, 1 minus. So these are the numbers to be tried. Then you can divide it. You get the idea? So the question could be so confusing as it is right there before you. And that is why it is amongst my challenge questions. So one way to look into my questions is you can just type in the topic, which is polynomials, division, challenge, Anil Kumar. You'll get very good questions. Go to the end of the video and see the solution. One page solution, right? So do you see this statement? What I'm saying here is 2b. Well, I could have written plus minus b and all those things also, but it is very clear that writing a number will help me out. So I'm trying with plus minus 1 and plus minus 2. So basically, when I substitute these values, I find that g of minus 2 is 0. Do you see that? Since g of minus 2 is 0, I did that division and found the other factors, correct? I also found that g of 1 is 0, I think. Yeah. So f of 1 was also 0. So I did that synthetic division and found that that is also 0, right? So you could do either one of them. So, and then you can do synthetic division and get the other answers. You get the idea. So it's not an easy question. I agree with you. So watch this video to understand the strategy. Correct? Definitely a challenge question before you. Is that okay? So that is how we should do. And now I'd like you to click this 41-minute video, Factor Theorem Concept, Excellent Practice Question. I have written these words so that you should never skip it. Very important chapter. And we are actually understanding so many different concepts linked with polynomials in this chapter. These concepts are also going to help us in calculus and in higher studies. Okay. So we did all this. Go to the middle somewhere. Okay, so we have to factor something, correct? So when you go through the playlist, you will understand what are the different values. Sometimes the question is, let me tell you the question here. Question is, you need to factor these, right? Now the question is, what are the possible values which you will try to factor? What are all the possible values? They are not telling you factor. No, no, no. They are only asking you what are all the possible values. You understand? So the possible values are written here. They are factors of 4 over 5. So basically, I could take 5 common, right? So basically, 4 over 5 is my term. So in the numerator, I should have all the factors of 4. In the denominator, all the factors of 5 and their combinations, all the combinations. That gives me so much. So plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4. Now dividing by 5. Dividing by 1 is the list which I have given you, those three. Plus minus 1 over 5, plus minus 2 over 5, plus minus 4 over 5. Do you see that? You have to try all these numbers. Now the thing is, if you keep on trying so many numbers in examination, it is going to take lot of time. Is that clear? How do we decide? Should we try positive or negative numbers? That is another, because you have got so much of choice, right? So there is a rule which is called Ducati's rule, which is we look for change in sign. So do you see how many times the sign changes? Plus to plus. Is there a change in sign? No. But if you go from plus to minus, it changes once, and then from minus to plus 2. So it changes 2 times. The sign changes twice. And the degree is 3. Degree 3 means what? Degree 3 means I could have only 3 factors. Maximum, right? Is that clear to everyone? Okay, we'll talk about this rule in the next class, but let me just say one thing. So what you really do is, you try the different values in order. Let's say you start with 1, 2, then check your answer. If your answer changes from positive to negative, that means there was a factor in between, correct? Then you have to try the fraction value in between, if at all you try it. So when you calculate using a calculator, I'm writing not 0, but I should write whether it is positive or negative, right? So this is positive.
This
Yes,
would be like a pretty lengthy process, right? Like you have to find all the possible values and you have to plug it in, and then you have to solve it. What, like, is there like any way to do it shorter, or is it you just have to do it this way?
shorter way only I'm telling you. So it's a
Okay.
very lengthy process. So you have to
Yeah.
start from somewhere, start from
Yeah.
anywhere. Let's say you start with -1. When you do this calculation, you see it is not 0. But what you should write is, what is the sign? You say, well, at -1, I get a positive number. I'm not writing 0, right? But is it positive or negative? So I know this is positive. Then I try the other number. Well, fortunately, I got the answer, but I could have tried 2 also, right? So if I plug in 2 here, let us say, uh, well, in this case, for 1, I get 0, right? So it was easy. But what really happens is that you have to try numbers in a sequence and keep on writing, is it positive or negative? If it changes sign, then you try the number in between. Is that clear? So, coming back to Hamza's question, what is the shortest way of doing it? Is I will actually answer this in the next class because this time is running out. Right? I will show you what is the shortest way of doing it, and to give you a hint on this, we figure out how many times the sign is changing. That will give us the shortest way. Is that okay? For now, I would like you to do this particular playlist, all the questions from here as your homework. When you go through this playlist, I have actually explained the shortest way also here in the video, but we just jumped, therefore we are not listening to that. Is that clear? Okay. So that is how we could actually do it. Now, I would like you to actually share with me about your learnings. So we'll kind of end our class here. So Hamza, can you tell me what did you learn today and how useful was today's class?
I think the remainder theorem especially. Yeah, so I read the textbook the other day and I only thought it would be useful for like linear equations, but I didn't actually know it'd be useful for like quadratic equations. I think that makes life like really, really easy, you know. So if I were to go to a question, I think so I'm just gonna go today, tomorrow, like before our next class, I'm gonna practice this to like get it perfect. Um and yeah, so the remainder theorem, it was the remainder theorem was nice, and then also the factoring too. So
Okay. Mohammed, can you summarize?
Yeah, so yesterday not yesterday, the last class we had, when we did the remainder theorem, before I didn't really understand like what was happening, but now I think I understand how to do it and everything. The synthetic division, I still have to work on that a little bit
Sure.
because but yeah, I learned a lot today.
Correct. You just practice, you'll get it, right? Now we have done today, I actually took up test questions mainly because I think moving forward, we have to be very strong at polynomials. Polynomials form the base for all the things, right? Ultimately, you're working with any equation. It could be rational equation, it could be an exponential, whatever. Ultimately, you get something which is kind of a polynomial. We have to solve that kind of equation, right? So therefore, a good foundation here helps. Vishruta, can you please summarize your today's learnings?
I learned about the applications of the remainder theorem and like how we can use long division to solve word problems.
Yes. Akshat.
Yes, sir. So I learned about how to apply the remainder theorem, and I also learned the various word problems that are associated with it. And I learned how to attack the synthetic division method in an easier and well-fashioned way.
Correct. I will like all of you to practice how do we use remainder theorem using quadratic divisors. Like Hamza was saying, he had an impression that it could only be used by just using the linear terms, correct? In my videos, I've also discussed how do we use synthetic division with quadratic factors. The synthetic division, I've also said in my lesson that you could only use it using a linear factor, correct? Because it becomes too complicated using, but you will find my examples where we will be dividing synthetically using, quadratic terms. We have method to do it. Perfect, slightly complicated, but it can be done. But finding remainder when it is being divided by a quadratic function is a common question asked in the test papers. Normally, it is under thinking and application or as a bonus question, because in schools, normally they don't teach you, but they expect you to do something extra, right? Extended learning. And therefore, it is a question as a bonus question. If it comes, you'll thank me for that, right? I know most of you will get more than 90, but that will help you to get more than 100, right? That's what we are aiming for. So I've shared with you some of the playlists. Go through them. While you go through my playlist, write down the comments if you don't understand anything, right? And share my playlist with your friends. That'll be good for them also. Okay. So we'll end our lesson here today. Uh, so it was great. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Bye.